Hey everybody, so as I said, I'd be making another Teen Talk video, and today I'm here with my friend. Say hi.
Hi.
And we're going to be talking about the issue concerning teens with parents. So, Miranda, like you've told me before, you've had issues with your mom or whatever. Why don't you tell us,
Okay.
to start off with, why don't you tell us what your relationship with your mom was like when you were little?
Well, I guess it was better than now.
Like how? Did you like have a closer
Yeah.
relationship?
And then as I got older, it kind of just got further apart.
And how'd you break that bond between mother and daughter? Well, what'd she do, or like what'd you do, or what happened?
Well, since the whole divorce and moving, she was more strict and not as nice as she used to say.
That's nice. And now you live with your dad, right?
Yeah, I'm closer to my dad than my mom.
Let's see. And so, have you ever tried to get the message across to your mom that maybe you don't necessarily see down the same path as her?
I tried before.
How'd you try?
Well, I try to tell her that she always pushes me to like get a job and stuff that like I'm not ready for, and I'm like, dude, I'm not ready for that.
So she like is pushing you towards something that you don't think you're ready for.
Yeah.
Right. I know that.
She thinks I'm ready for a job, which I'm just not ready for right now.
And didn't you mentioned to me in the past something about driving or whatever, and how she like was getting on you about that too?
Oh yeah. Ever since started driving, she was pushing me to get my permit and license.
You got your car though and your permit, right?
Yeah, but I don't drive right now. It's too much.
Right. And does she still pester you about all this stuff even if you live with your dad?
Yeah.
That's
one day I just snapped at her about it too.
Really? Tell us about that.
Well, I was going to the store with her, and then she kept saying like, trying to give me like, hey, you should drive, and it'll be good for you, and stuff like that. And then just snapped at her. I'm like, no, I'm not going to drive.
What'd you say to her?
Stuff I shouldn't probably say.
Stuff I shouldn't probably say concerning YouTube and the internet. Okay.
Yeah.
So, wow, that's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
For me and my situation with my dad is our parents are kind of opposite. It's like she didn't have the best experience with her mom, and I didn't have the best experience with my dad. Now I live with my mom most of the time. When I was about, I'd say 3 or whatever, my dad started to enroll me into like gymnastics and ballet and stuff. He really wanted me to be sort of like an athletic sort of person, right?
Really?
And I mean, like, of course I was young and, I do whatever my parents tell me to. So of course I'm like, I was like, okay, I'll do what Daddy says, because I know if I don't, then he's gonna put me in the timeout corner or whatever, you know? So, as years passed, I sort of was like, hey, wait a minute. I hate this stuff, It's like, oh man, I have to go to ballet, and I have to go to gymnastics, and I have to do this and that and this and that. And my dad's the one that's making me do it. So eventually I talked to my mom, and then when they were still married, and then she talked to my dad and convinced him to drop ballet and drop gymnastics. But then he was just like, well, what the hell is she gonna do in her spare time, And then I sort of, that's basically when I started to get into like art and stuff, like drawing and painting.
That's always good.
And one day in elementary school, my dad came in and he wanted to make sure that I wasn't trading food with anybody.
Really?
It's like there wasn't a rule against trading in my elementary school, but he didn't want me eating whatever else other kids' parents.
How does he know if you're trading or not?
Probably because the teacher. I don't know. Like they have conferences and stuff during schools, and like you can like tell information and stuff. But anyway, I'm getting off the point here. But yeah, my dad pretty much forced me into ballet and gymnastics. and
My mom
that
forced me to
was not
stuff.
a good decision. And you know what he did one time?
What?
He was like, I was learning how to ride a bike. He taught me how to ride a bike. He taught me on the grass.
What the hell?
I'm like,
Who does that?
okay, wouldn't it be easier to ride on smooth cement rather than
Like, so my last house was by a cul-de-sac. I learned by the cul-de-sac. Just
Cool.
going in circles.
Mm.
Yeah, when my neighbor's like, I'll give you like $20 if you learn to ride a bike. I'm like, sweet.
driving works sometimes, yeah.
So it took me longer than others to learn to ride bikes.
I didn't learn until I was 12. True story.
Yeah, I learned when I was older too. Then my neighbors want me to learn. Like, I'll like give you money if you ride mine. Then before I know it, I learned.
Cool.
Yeah, I learned with only 2 wheels.
Sweet, that's cool.
Yeah.
So, okay, now that that's what. So basically, summing up what we talked about so far is just like how parents can sort of like push you into things that you don't want to do. And sometimes that could be a result of parents wanting you to become but what they never were. It's like what they tried to be but what they never were.
Yep.
It's like my dad, he was way overweight when he was little, and
Really?
he made the decision to control everything in his life, including
Like
his
my-
parents and stuff. And he just ended up controlling my childhood, which sort of made us grow apart little by little.
Yeah, like my mom slowly started growing apart too.
Mm-hmm.
Like she would try to force me to do dieting, and I didn't want to.
Right. And I mean, you guys, parents, I'm going to say this yucky gucky stuff right now only because it's probably what everybody else says about their parents, but they only want the best for you, and it's because they love you. But at one point in your life, you get old enough to say, you know what? You drop the BS, you know?
Yeah,
I'm not doing this anymore, you know?
Just forget this. I'm done.
Yeah. Anyways, and so another topic I want to talk about is like going off of dieting, like eating and stuff. Like I'll go first this time.
Okay.
My dad, he wanted me to be a healthy child like every other parent does, but he went about it in a way that got him the exact opposite result of what he wanted. He packed my lunches small, which is explainable because I was only in like kindergarten or whatever, and like, you know, little children, they tend to not eat as much as at school. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know.
Anyway, when I got into elementary school, my teacher sent him notes or whatever saying that, you know, your daughter Adrian is still hungry after lunch. Could you please pack her more food? So
yeah, eating a lot less is not really good.
Especially when you're growing.
Yeah,
I mean,
because you need enough food to give you be able to go
Right.
through the rest of the day.
I was a little kid, man. I mean, like, I'd run around and play a lot and
Yeah.
shit. So, anyways, going back to the story, he really didn't understand that there's more than one way to parent. And I know that parents either raise their children how they were raised, or they raise them the opposite of the way they were raised. It's like, I'm not gonna, you know, raise my kid the way my parents raised me or anything. Or say, I'm gonna raise my children exactly the way my parents raised me.
Yeah, my mom always talks about when I was a kid, blah, 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 blah. I'm like,
on my day. No.
Yeah, my day. Yeah, that's why she made me walk to school all the time, because she had to walk when she was little. She told me that. Like, she's saying, when I was little, I had to walk a lot more than you did, so you shouldn't be complaining. I'm like, oh, you try to walk when it's like 45 degrees. God, seriously.
So, anyways, going back to eating, basically my dad, he parented me the only way he knew how to, because my grandmother, she basically didn't care about what he ate, who he hung out with, like all that stuff. Like she wasn't a good mom, let's just put it that way. And my grandfather, he was always away at war or some sort of like meeting or whatever related to war. So my dad and my aunt were basically there to fend for themselves the whole time. And it occurred to him that he was getting bullied a lot and that he was way overweight and he was, really fat and stuff. So he took control of everything. And that topic of control is how he parented me. He controlled the amount of food I eat. He controlled which friends I hang out. He controlled
Everything.
the extracurricular activities I did. He controlled my homework or whatever. And
pretty much everything, right?
yeah, and it gets to a certain point where I get older and I start to question authority. It's like, well, my mom always had me do this, why? Or my dad always made me do this, why? And he always said, oh, just, don't ask why, just do it and you'll be a good child.
Wow.
And when I turned about, I don't know, maybe 7 years old, it was when 7 years old, my sister was born. And, I'll go into siblings topic on another day, but, I did, like, physical harm to her, and I channeled that energy from my dad being controlative of me. And now that I look back on it, I'm like, that wasn't the right thing for me to do.
That's not the best thing to do.
No, I should have been smarter, yet at the same time, how am I supposed to, stand up to my dad? Because he basically was the one who parented me basically all my life. I mean, he was there for all my activities. He put aside work for my school plays or whatever. He arranged all my play dates with my friends and stuff. My mom, she was working all the time, every day, from dawn to dusk.
Well, for me, it's the opposite. My dad was working all the time, and my mom was always there.
Yeah. And, I think that's an example of having parental balance, is what I like to call it. You need love from both of your parents, and you need more than one perspective of parenting when you're little. Because if you don't have that, then you grow older and you have your own kids. You want to choose between, all right, do I raise my kids the way my mom raised me, or do I raise my kids the way my dad raised me?
Yeah.
That's just how I view it. So anyway, here I am now, 16 and a half years old, actually. I'm currently doing some stuff to better benefit my health as an individual, because it actually took me up until last year to take hold of what's mine, and that's my life, basically. I mean, I just can't go through life thinking, all right, is my dad going to approve of this, or is my dad going to approve of that? It's like, you know what? I respect and I love my dad, but at the same time, it's my life now, okay? Right. I am a junior in high school. I'm going to be graduating next year, and I'm going to be going to college and getting my degree and all that. It's my life now.
Yeah, you control your life, not your dad.
And it's like, Dad, I love you, and you're a good person deep down, and you did all you could for me, but at some point, I just have to take control of things for myself and handle it myself.
Right.
If it weren't for my mom in my life, actually, I probably wouldn't be able to use a dishwasher or a clothes or a dry cleaner or anything like that. Because my dad, he babied me and controlled me and everything, and my mom was the one that taught me life skills, like how to use a stove, how to use a dishwasher, how to clean the dishes.
Really?
Yeah.
That's like...
And now I'm here, my own person, working on my weight and stuff like that, from all the hoarding problems I went through because my dad controlled... Because you know how you tell a child you can't have something? What do they want? They want more of that.
Yeah, more
right?
of it.
So my dad told me I couldn't have that food or that food. Guess what I did? I wanted more of that food. And that food.
My mom actually used to do the same thing. She was like trying to control like what I ate. Like,
because knowing that, all right, my dad doesn't want me having this, well, maybe I could be all sneaky and stuff and get it myself. I used to
do that too. I used to hide food in my room so I didn't have it.
Me too. I used to go into the cabinets when my parents or elsewhere in the house, and I hid the wrappers in my room all over the place.
That's what I would do too. Oh, have like a secret spot where I hide the wrappers that they don't know about.
Because I didn't want my parents to know that I was eating the food that they said I couldn't have. That was just the way the child mind functions.
You want it, but you don't want them to know, so you get in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
It's like.
So let's see. So far we talked about how parents can push you into doing things you don't want to do, and how parents can negatively affect your life further by controlling things when you're younger. Anything else? Like, is there any other issues you have with your mom besides her making you do things you don't want in food?
Oh God.
Any other? I don't want to say anything about like siblings or anything, because that's like a different topic that I want to talk about. But some of these topics will overlap each other, just so you know. Like, parents could overlap into siblings, and like fitting in could overlap into friends and stuff. So anything else we're missing on parents?
Well, if we're not talking about siblings, I don't know if I should go into it.
Oh no, it's fine.
Well, when I was younger, I used to be blamed for things that I didn't do that my brothers did. Just they think I did it, but then the whole time I'm being punished for something I didn't do.
Right. So why don't we stop here on that note and save that for our next video about siblings? How about that?
All right. Sounds good.
So you guys, this is just two different perspectives on what teens are dealing with parents, and just to let you know, I'm going to say this at the end of every single video, that you're not alone when it comes to these topics. Millions and millions and millions of different teens out there are having these kinds of issues with their parents, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'll bet you have friends that tell you about their problems with parents, don't you? Yep,
I have a lot of friends that have problems.
So do I. I mean, nobody out there has the two perfect pair of parents that...
That's like... It's rare to have.
That's like a fairy tale story.
Yeah, there's no way you have two perfect parents. Every parent has issues.
Yeah, no one's perfect in the world. Every parent has issues with their child, and all you guys have to remember is you have to sit them down and you have to tell them, I'm gonna talk, and all you need to do is just listen. Because listening is the most important, crucial thing that builds strong, loving bonds between parents and children. I mean, if no one listens, it's kind of like doing a dance, right?
Well, sometimes if you try to talk to them, they don't listen, and it's like, seriously?
It just doesn't work.
Yeah.
It's kind of like doing a dance. Yeah, you're dancing,
like I try,
but they're not.
Like when I used to live with my mom and get frustrated, like I try to talk to her like that, and then she's like, no, that, and she starts like telling me like I'm wrong and stuff like that. Like, and I get all mad and just like lock myself in my room because I don't know what else to do.
Right. I mean, you guys, there are a lot of coping skills out there. Oh, speaking of which, this is a good time to bring up the tool belt. As previously mentioned in the last video, I have what I like to call a tool belt. And in my tool belt, I put tools in it. And whenever I say tools, they're just a fancy word for coping skills.
Oh.
Like when and you have two kinds of coping skills. You have healthy coping skills and unhealthy coping skills. Healthy coping skills would be walking it off or jogging it off outside, or would be like drawing a nice pretty picture, as you can see on my chalkboard walls all over there, or painting, or just talking to someone. Unhealthy skills would be like hurting yourself, taking it out on others, eating a lot of unhealthy foods,
starving yourself.
That's a big one. Starving yourself.
Like sometimes I get really depressed. I'll just like not want to eat anything. And I'll end up like not eating for a couple of days or so.
And that's never good either.
Yeah.
So here's a couple of things that you guys can do if you're having problems with your parents to just take a deep breath and just start using your tools. You could text your friends about it. That's what we do a lot, right?
Yep.
Whenever we're having problems, we're just like, oh man, F life, I'm having problems with this and that.
Yeah.
And we help each other out. Friends are very important.
Friends are supposed to be there for each other.
Mm-hmm. Another coping skill would be reading a book. Try to get your mind on something else.
I do a lot of reading. I have like a library of books.
Yeah, we have like
Oh yeah, we read lots of
50 million page mangas here. Just in case we have that moment where we're just like, all right, I'm going to read all of this to get my mind off of my parents.
Yeah. Just when you need to get your mind off of something. It's really good.
You could, like I said,
Art.
you could draw. And if you're not a good artist, I mean, all that really matters is you just...
You don't have to be good. You
just have to get
draw.
your mind off of it,
Yeah.
you know? You could watch a movie.
Yeah, that helps too.
Like, sometimes we get together and watch different Pokemon movies.
Yeah.
When we're feeling down. Anime. Well, that's just us.
Yeah,
Big
well,
anime geeks.
yeah, us.
You could, in fact, one thing that you could do is you could get, like, this big, long sheet of paper or a whiteboard or something and write down a bit of what you want to talk about with your parents.
That's actually good.
Because once you sit down with them for a good, long hour and you just talk to them, they don't have to say anything. Tell them, Mom or Dad or both
just
of you,
listen.
I just need you to listen to what I have to say. Sit them down for an hour nice and calmly. Make sure you don't call them any bad names or anything.
Or yell.
Just keep your cool and just tell it how it is. Be like, Mom, I don't like it when you... That reminds me, I should probably bring this up now. What I like to use is an I feel statement. Like, and this could be with anyone. A sibling, a friend, a parent, anyone. Just be like, Mom or Dad, when you do this, it makes me feel this way, and I don't really like that. And what I need from you is insert what you need from your parents. And you ask them, can you do that? Don't forget to ask if they can do it or not, because you don't know with different parents, right?
Yeah.
Ask them, can you do that? And if they say yes, then great. And if they say, well, I may be able to make accommodations to that statement, but I may not be able to do exactly that.
Yeah.
But that's just it. Relationships evolve, disintegrate, and evolve over time. I mean, that's just how humans are.
God.
In a way. So,
we can be complicated sometimes.
yes, teens are very complicated.
Yeah, that's
we
why
like it that way.
my mom thinks teens are too complicated sometimes.
Anyways, so that's all we have about parents. You guys can post a comment in the description below about what you feel about this video and what you would like us to talk about in our next videos. If you go back to the first video, just Teen Talk plainly without any episode numbers, I have a big long list of things that I'm going to be talking about. So if you guys want me to talk about one thing before another, if you guys want me to add on another video and talk about it more, just comment, and I will be more than happy to assist you, because everybody needs help with things, right?
Yeah.
Everybody does.
No matter who you are.
Exactly. And I'd also like to make a shout out to someone on YouTube. I believe, let me actually get online for a second and look this. I'm not sure exactly what his username is. But I mean, you know, parents and stuff. Some things you just have to put up with, and other things you're just
stuck with.
Yeah, you're just stuck with. Well, I don't know the exact name, but I think I'm pretty sure the username was Boogie2988. He talks a lot about how what people say can have quite a negative effect on others and stuff. So a big shout out to him for getting out there and just letting people know.
And being open.
Being open, exactly. Being open is really, it makes a big impact, you guys. Always be open to what people have to say, because let's all face it, everyone has fun being an asshole at least once. Everyone has fun doing it.
And everyone's been, like, picked on, too.
Yeah. But just remember, you're not alone, and there's always a light at the end of the tunnel, even if you have to drive a little bit further to see it, right?
Yep.
Right. On that note, we are signing out. Be sure to like, favorite, subscribe. I really don't care about that. Just leave a comment about what you guys feel we should talk about in the future. Any last words, Miranda?
No.
Alright.
Bye.
Bye.